what the president said. If you like your insurance, you can keep it. There is nobody in America has the same insurance that they had when he said this. We've had 3 different years. Their policies were only for 1 year.
That was so damaging, a lot of people said, for the president to go out and say you will be able to keep your coverage if you'd like it. And there were thousands of people that found out that that was not actually possible.
But I still go back and say what I said earlier. What he said was true.
Okay.
And if you want to keep the insurance you have, you can keep it. The problem is we did not put the bill into effect that way. There's a lot of administrative things kicked in, and there have been 3 changes in anyone's policy since then. It's not the same policy.
Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid on a local TV interview talking Obamacare. Let's bring back our panel. Syndicated columnist George Will, Kirsten Powers, columnist for the Daily Beast and syndicated columnist and author of Things That Matter, Charles Krauthammer. Kirsten, I'll start with you. How about the Senate Majority Leader there?
I don't know what he's talking about. I tried to follow his reasoning, but
he said he was right. What he said was true.
I guess he's trying to say that your plans change from year to year, but they don't really change from year to year. Your premiums might go up a little, but they don't really change your plans. And people's plans, I mean, I've talked about this before, my plan changed. It's an empirical fact that I had a plan and I liked it and I was happy with it, and I was told that I couldn't have it anymore because I have to add things to it that they said weren't in it and pay more for something else that I didn't want.
When you watch that, is that an effort to... Is that a mistake, or is that a coordinated effort to kind of muddy the waters and say, look over here, and this was not a big problem?
I think they probably have just decided that there's nothing they can really do. They're just going to lean into it. You know, they can't argue that they don't have a positive argument to make, really. So they're just going to keep insisting that things aren't quite as bad as people think they are, and kind of muddy the water, I guess, because. I can't believe Harry Reid actually believes what he just said.
Well, Senator Reid should not try to be clever. It's very unbecoming, because what he was doing was saying the president didn't say what the president has in his way apologized for saying. The problem is they're now going into full court press of millennials who are also called invincibles because they don't realize they're going to get old, sick, and with aches and pains. They need about 40% of those signing up to be under 35. Now, they're either going to sign up because out of altruism they want to subsidize the elderly, good luck with that, or they're going to sign up because they don't know any better. The problem is Obamacare occurs in a context with young people. They're graduating from college, those who are, a great many of them into a job market that is unsatisfying, and they're graduating with federal student debt that they got because the Obama administration, with a flood of subsidies, caused the colleges to raise tuitions to capture the subsidies, and now they're coming out with this debt, and they're greeted by the Obama administration, congratulations, you got your degree, buy some insurance you don't want at a price you can't afford, and it's just not promising. Charles.
Look, as for Harry Reid, I can't believe it's a coordinated campaign. It's too insane. I think it's Harry Reid trying on a tin hat. And I would just say, Harry, give it up. You can argue all you want that the sun rises in the west. It's not going to work. And you get this sort of speaking against the wind on things that, as Kirsten says, are empirically untrue. People are receiving cancellations. They know they lost their insurance. There's no way to talk around it. The other thing that the Obama administration, the White House, is pushing is the success of the exchanges, because they got 30,000 people supposedly enrolled. But let's assume it's enrolled. They aren't enrolled, but let's give them
because nobody's really paid the
exactly
premium yet,
so shopping and semi-enrolled, aspirationally enrolled, let's put it that way, in 2 days. Well, if you do the math on that and you continue that enrollment up until the deadline of the 23rd of December, you come out with a number which means that of the 5 million people who've lost insurance, 6% will have it restored. All the rest will not have it, and that's without adding a single person who never had insurance in the first place. It is a disaster with the numbers that the White House is touting.
Another Democrat holding town halls in West Virginia, Senator Joe Manchin, talking about what he wants, a delay.
Let's have that a transitional year and see if we can make these things work. If we give it our best try and we can't, maybe we bit off more than we could chew. Maybe there's some ways we can adjust and get back to what we can agree on. It's pretty common sense in West Virginia how you do things. They sold the sizzle, if you will. Now we got to make sure that the meat and potatoes is cooked. And if we can't get that product, then we got to make some adjustments. And that's all I've said.
Sold the sizzle.
Well, I'm chewing on this analogy here. We've got sizzle, we got the meat and potatoes, we're cooking it. I think we have probably achieved a simmer on this. I'm not exactly sure what he's saying, but I think he's saying the Democrats and Republicans ought to agree on a delay. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Republicans want to bail out a failed plan that's hurting people.
Slow boil.
Joe Manchin is a little bit of an outlier in the Democratic Party, and I think he's playing to a different audience. There's not going to be a delay, but he's smart just to ask for one for his constituency, for sure.
I think he's chewing the sizzle, if I heard that right. I think
it can't be done.
I think these folks have discovered the joys of sophistry. Remember when the president, we all saw him, said, there's a red line in Syria? And then he went on the way to the G20 and he stopped in Stockholm and said, I never said red line. The world drew the red line. Bringing us back again to Chico Marx in the movie Duck Soup, who are you going to believe, me or your eyes? And a lot of people, I think, like you, who've had this thing in front of you to read are believing your eyes.
If I can get a panel where Chico Marx is quoted, that's always a good panel.
The only
And
Marxist
the clerk on the same
On
show.
the same show, on the same show. On that thought, a final thought on Nelson Mandela. We'll be right back.